went to Africa, Ivory Coast in Africa. We were in the city, Abidjan. We were going into a village about 2 hours away from Abidjan the next day. We were there having dinner and sleeping in the city before we went to the village. And I was there with about a dozen people. It was a husband-wife missionary team. We were going into the village the next day, and these people had dinner with us. They came from the village, and they were sharing with us all that was going on in the village. And I freaked out a little bit because what was going on in the village that particular night, the night before we were going in, was the medicine doctor who oversaw the village, who practiced voodoo, and a special kind of voodoo called fetish voodoo, which is basically the voodoo dolls with the pins and needles and the whole 9 yards. That's where we were going the very next day. So I'm having dinner, eating my chicken. There's a whole nother story about that, but we were in chicken, hearing the story, and I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. This is not good. I don't think I signed up for this. I don't recall signing up for this. And not only that, but the people I was with, there was about a dozen people. I was the youngest. There were two girls, me and another girl that were younger, and the rest people were kind of middle-aged, not very healthy, complained a lot, were worried about the heat, worried about the food, worried about all kinds of things. And I'm hearing all this and thinking, we're going into a village with a voodoo doctor who has got dolls with pins and needles, and you're talking about, did you bring enough toilet paper? So I was a little worried. Went to bed that night. We were staying in it was partly a schoolhouse, had classrooms. We were staying in classrooms where they put two little twin beds in several of the classrooms. So I had a roommate. This young lady was with me, my roommate. I didn't know her until this trip. And so we go to bed, and it's got light in the hallway that's coming through windows that are on, the windows to the hallway, so I could see. And I wake up in the middle of the night to these people that are coming into our room, and it was like old-timey people. It was very strange, and I'm watching this happen, and I'm thinking, do I get up? What do I do? And I had my hand on the light switch thinking, maybe I should turn the light on. What are they doing in the room? And they come in the room. There's about 6 or 8 of them. They come in the room, and this person, I don't know if it was a man or woman, had their back to me, was ushering them in the room. But I see these people. I was focused on these people because I could see their face. And this one in particular, right in front of me, the front right of my bed, is a little old lady with hair in her bun, like gray hair in a bun, and she was wearing a sweater with the little pearl buttons down the front. If you've seen those before, little pearl buttons down the front, like an old-timey. They were all it was just kind of bizarre. And I'm watching this unfold, and they're nodding their heads, and they're looking at me, and they're looking at my roommate, they're nodding their heads, listening. I couldn't hear anything, listening to this person talking to them. And I got the impression they were being told what we were doing. And, in Hebrews 10, it talks about you're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. I don't know if that was part of my cloud of witnesses or not. I don't know, but that's what happened. And I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, this totem pole thing comes up in between me and the person that's speaking to them and starts to fall down on top of them, and they all start to disintegrate. And at that point, I'm like, I'm getting up. And I turn the light on, and I watch them all disintegrate, and my roommate rolls over, and she's like, what are you doing? What's wrong? And there's nothing for her to see at that point, so I said, I'm sorry, and I turned it off. I didn't really know her that well, right? I just met her. I turned it off, and I'm sitting there, and as I sit there, I hear loud and clear in my head, it is finished. What did I mean? And it wasn't like, I think I shared one other time that I heard God's voice like that. And both times it was pretty direct and pretty in my face. And this time it was not it is finished. What did I mean? It was it is finished. What did I mean? As if you're going to answer me right now. It was real clear. You're answering this question right now, Stacy. So I sat there in bed and I thought, okay, and I was trying to work through my head, what did he mean? And it is finished is the last thing he said on the cross. In John, I think you'll read it, John 16 or something like that. He says, "It is finished," and he bows his head and dies. That's the last thing Jesus said on the cross. So I'm listening or thinking through this, and I'm thinking, it is finished. What did he mean? The battle's over. He won the battle on the cross. It is finished. The entire Old Testament told about Jesus, the Messiah, coming to save people from their sins, to beat evil, to conquer evil, and make a way for us to be saved. It is finished. Jesus conquered evil by dying for us and making a way for us to believe in him, follow him, and have everlasting life with him. He did all of that on the cross when he died. He didn't have to come die, but he did. And when he did, he fulfilled thousands of years of scripture in the Old Testament to the T, right? Like even in Micah 5:2, it says he'll come from Bethlehem. All over Psalms, it talks about how his death will be carried out. You know, they'll cast lots for his clothes. They won't break a bone in his body. He won't speak in his defense. All those things are in the Old Testament. And then Jesus came and lived right according to all that prophecy and died the exact way the prophecy laid out thousands of years before. It is finished. He fulfilled all of that prophecy, and he fulfilled God's promise to save man from evil, from sin. It is finished. And what he taught me that night when I was thinking through this was, you know, you are worried about this group of people going into this village because you think it's all on you to figure this out, to be safe, to share the gospel, to start this church in this village. It's not up to you. None of it's up to you. And the fact that these people are looking like they can't handle it, they have a willing heart, and they're here because they love me. And I don't need them to handle it. I just want an open heart. I'll do all the work through you. Just open your heart and be willing to let me work through you, and I'll do it. And that's what he taught me was he just wanted us to sign up. He just wanted us to be willing to go, and he would do all the work through us. I didn't have to worry about the people that were worried about not having enough toilet paper in the village. I didn't have to worry about the fact that they kept getting sick because they kept eating things and their body couldn't handle it. I didn't have to worry about, you know, this voodoo doctor who was trying to kill us with voodoo dolls by the bonfire the night before. I didn't have to worry about any of that. I just had to sign up and say, God, I'm here. I want to be used by you, and I love you, and let's go. And trust that he'll do everything because he is really holy and powerful. And we're the vessel. He's the power. And so that's what I learned in Africa. I hope you enjoyed the story. It was a fantastic experience, but that definitely taught me that God's got this. All these things we see around us in the crazy world we live in today, World War III included, I guess, you know, everything that's happening, he's in control. And he wants us with our eyes focused on him, trusting that he will fulfill his purpose for us in this world. Just trust in him. It is finished. The battle's over. You don't have to fight. Just surrender and know that Jesus is Lord. Y'all have a great day.